Today on 16-Bit Game Reviews, I find a ghost. New York is in danger again. And finally, I'm a light blue dinosaur in a go-kart. Hello and welcome to a Halloween special-ish. It's not very Halloweeny in here, as you can probably tell. However, we're still reviewing a Halloween-type game. The original plan, though, was to do a special Coin Wasters where I was going to go and beat Ghost Goblins. However, as I slowly started to realize that dream was almost impossible. Just a little PR message right now, don't play Ghosts and Goblins. Anyways, so after my fun adventures playing Ghosts and Goblins, I went on Steam, still having the hope that I actually get it done. And I found a little sale going on for Halloween, and I found Ghostbusters the video game for $3.25. I saw this, I picked it up, and I ran with it. It was such a good deal. So then I was getting through and I'm like, oh my god, this Ghosts and Goblins is impossible, what am I to do? And then I realized, Ghostbusters is Halloween, there's ghosts in it, and I love busting ghosts because it makes me feel good. So I decided to stop what I was doing and go and do a review of Ghostbusters the video game for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 3. Unlike other Ghostbusters games, I'm not pointing any fingers at NES Ghostbusters, it's a very good game. In fact, I would say it is the best Ghostbusters game ever made. And one of the contributing factors is it actually has a story. The story of Ghostbusters is that there is a purple wave which breaks out and consumes the entire city like a blast radius. Ghostbusters wonder if they did it. Slimer breaks out, release another ghost from the containment unit. You're a new Ghostbuster. You go and capture this ghost that break out. Slimer goes back to the Sedgwick. You go to the Sedgwick. Then Stave Puff just demolishes most of downtown New York. Typical day for Ghostbusters. The rest of the story is very good, very well written, and very well done. This is basically Ghostbusters 3. Yes, they do. The original Ghostbusters cast cannot be recasted. You can't just have a brand new Ghostbusters game without having the original cast of Ghostbusters. What made the original movies funny was that these were a lot of funny people bouncing a lot of good jokes off of one another, and they just kept building upon it. And they do the same thing in this game. Just listen to what happens when the fat lady starts to sing.
Look out! Fat lady's singing!
She is so over. Looks like an opera singer, and a hefty one at that. Peter, you better take her.
What's that supposed to mean? I'm a chubby chaser? I take out one plump girl on a blind date, like her personality, and you guys can't let her go.
The music in Ghostbusters is a mix of original tracks and a mix of music from the movies. However, they mixed the two so seamlessly together, I can't tell. I think it's all from the movies, which is the effect which I was hoping for. The sound effects are the sound effects from the movies and from video games. The wood sounds like wood breaking, and the proton streams still sound like proton streams. In fact, even the traps sound fantastic. The gameplay is very good. In fact, it's probably the best part of the game. You go around, you catch ghosts, you go to another section after listening to a bunch of witty dialogue, and then you catch more ghosts, and then you just repeat and you continue. In some ways, it is like the original NES Ghostbusters. However, in between the boring areas where you're going from building to building, you have witty dialogue. Yeah, there is no platforming sections, and even if there is, it's very simple. There are, fortunately, no staircase levels. Except for one area where you're being attacked by Stave Puff, but that's excusable, and you're not mashing A. Just play it. It's so good.
What did people do?
I mean, the only thing that can improve it is the controls. And they do, unless you're playing on the PC. The controls are smooth. You never feel like you failed a mission because a control or you were trying to run one way but you didn't. And it's all very, 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 very good. It makes you really feel like you're in the battles and busting ghosts. As I said, the only issue is when you're playing on the PC. Now, if you're using a mouse and keyboard, it really feels awkward. The mouse doesn't want to go where you want to go. In fact, the way you want to play it on the PC is that you point the stream wherever your mouse cursor is. And if you get to a certain dead zone set by you, you would go and turn around. However, that's not the case. The mouse is more or less the right analog stick, and it feels so awkward. So if you do get the game on the PC, please find a controller and enjoy it the way it's supposed to be. And it doesn't matter what that controller is, as long as it has an analog stick. Other than that, the controls, especially on the consoles, are just beautiful and fantastic. Despite the awkward controls, the PC version is also lacking on a few things. The PC version is lacking achievements, it's lacking the online multiplayer, and I feel that the PC version is a lesser port. I mean, you can see it in the cutscenes that this was clearly designed for the consoles, and it was a last-minute decision to port it to the PC. The people who did port it did take a lot of time and effort into making this a very good experience on the PC, assuming you have a controller. But when it comes to these, in my opinion, crucial aspects of the game, you're missing some of the experience, which is upsetting. You get to use the typical Proton streams, which you are actually the test guinea pig for, and you get to play with all the cool little toys before all the other Ghostbusters get to it. But after that, you also get to use the goggles. You get to empty the containment turret, get to use ghost traps, and the most important tool for any Ghostbusters, the PKE meter, which is used either as your waypoint that tells you which way you're supposed to go. It also tells you where hidden collectibles are. The graphics in the games on the consoles are fantastic. It really looks good for a console game from that generation. All the models look like people, all the scenery look like stuff, and the fact that everything breaks apart and still retains its look of a shattered piece of wood, let's say, is very, very, very good. The only thing I would have to say is the cutscenes and the game really do not look like one another. On the console, it looked like an improvement. However, on the PC, it looked like a downgrade, which really upsets me. Especially when the fact that the game runs at roughly 60 frames a second, and the cutscenes are only running at 30. It doesn't really look good. The loading times are bad. And I do mean bad. When you start up the game, it loads very quickly. However, when you try to load up a level, or if let's say you failed a boss fight, it does take a bit before it loads up again. To see which loads faster, I'm going to compare it to a full lap of Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 7. Yes, 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 and 1,000 times over, yes, buy this game, get it. It doesn't matter if you're buying it on Steam or if you're buying it on the consoles. This game is worth it. It has everything for almost every type of gamer. It's a shooter, it's a platformer, it's an exploration game. It's a collect-a-thon. It's everything. Even if you're not into Ghostbusters, watch the many Ghostbusters the video game movies on YouTube. They are all fantastic. Even if you just want to listen to the story, the areas are probably the biggest point about the game. They're all explorable, they're all interactable. Hell, there's even fountains you can interact with. Everything about this game is fantastic and good. So go out and buy it if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and making it to the end of the video. Please make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe us. I don't even know if you can still favorite videos. But anyways, you can also like us on the Facebooks and follow us on the Twitters. You get the news feeds whenever we upload a video first on Twitter. Facebook, you have to wait a little bit. But remember, if you follow us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, and subscribe, leave comments, or even like the video, you are feeding monkeys. That's right, monkeys. You're feeding them. You're feeding monkeys. Think about the positive monkeys. Our secret lab will never work properly if our monkeys are hungry. So feed them. They all get bananas. Think about the monkeys. Anyways, thank you for watching.